So yesterday we were working on that Windows machine known as Blaster. Actually, it was Retro, but we opened up Blaster because Retro was giving us some issues. So we are connected to the system now. Okay, let me just try running this. Okay, just a moment. Like, how far had we gone on this system? Like, what was the last thing that we did?
Sorry, I wasn't there for the last class.
Oh, so Romanium, were you present? I don't think you were.
Sir?
Were you present in the last class?
No, sir. Actually, yesterday and today it's raining too much in Hyderabad, in my area, sir. That's why no power. Yesterday I was not there. But you
Okay.
can continue, sir. No problem. From today's class itself, I can catch up.
What was the last session that you guys attended? Like,
Day before yesterday's class, sir. Day before yesterday's class.
day before yesterday? Okay.
Tuesday's class I have attended, sir. Monday, Tuesday I have attended.
You attended, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yesterday I didn't see you there, so yesterday you were not present. And okay, one thing. I think Anthem you have seen. We were working on Anthem, so that you have seen.
I think on Monday we have worked on something like stages, different stages of hacking in from website. And on Tuesday we moved to new website. I think new website to hack something else. Forgot that
Right.
name of the website. So I
See,
remember that, but I don't remember the site's name.
we are just now just working on machines from Try Hack Me.
Try hacking. I think from Tuesday. I think yesterday only I missed it. Now also there is no power, so I'm logged in with mobile data.
Oh, okay. Just give me one moment. I'll just confirm what was the last thing that we did. Check my list. So actually on Tuesday we had started working on this one on Retro. So we started that on Tuesday. Okay, now the thing with this system is we figured out that the web directory, okay, using Dirbuster, we found that on this web server there's a directory known as Retro. So I'll just do a quick recap of everything that we've done on this system and then I'll proceed forward. Okay.
Yeah.
So the machine that I'm working on is called Blaster. It actually has, it had a previous version called as Retro, which we started working on. but that has an issue with its configuration. So this is the exact same thing, it's just those issues have been fixed, so we can properly work on this one. And I would very much recommend that you create an account on this website and try out these things, because it's a very good resource for learning and for practicing. Okay, so we came to this website. Okay, we saw that there is a user called Wade who has been posting a lot of articles and stuff, and those are all in keeping with the theme, which is retro games, books, and movies. Now we look at one of these articles called Ready Player One. So it's based on a movie which is based on a book by the same name. Okay, so when you read through this, you'll see it says, I can't believe the movie based on my favorite book is coming out, and so and so. But I feel a deep connection to the character. My name is similar. And after that, the next sentence is kind of important. It says, I keep mistyping the name of his avatar whenever I log in. So this gives you a hint that the name of the avatar of the protagonist for this movie is a credential for this person's account. And if you scroll down and you see the comment, it says, leaving myself a note here just in case I forget how to spell it. So he has written the name here as well. Now the username we already know, that is Wade, and this is a password. If you try logging into WordPress with this, again this is a WordPress website. If you try logging in with this combination, which is Wade and Parzival, you will be able to log in. But currently there is nothing that we can do within this WordPress panel. However, it did help us confirm that this is actually a valid password for this person. So what we did was we used RDP to connect to this system with the same credentials, username Wade, password Parzival. Okay, so this is what we did. Username Wade, password Parzival, and this is the IP of the system. So we connected via RDP. This is the user flag which is present on the system. So user.txt, if you open this up, you'll see the user flag. So that is one flag down, okay, because our main goal is to find the user flag and the root flag. Now the thing is, this machine is a little slow. Okay, so this is your flag for the user flag. Now what we did was we looked around on the system, we looked around for different files, we even tried to look for hidden files or hidden folders, but there was nothing that we found. There was nothing useful in any of these folders. So there is this one web browser on the system, just this one. Let's see whether we can find anything in the browser itself. Okay, this system again, it's very slow, so whatever you do, it's going to take time. Just a moment. I think I might need to reconnect to it because it's getting very, very slow. So, okay, no, still slow. So I guess we're just going to have to work with this. So the thing is, we didn't find any files when we looked around, but uh, again, so we look for something that we might find in the browser, maybe a bookmark or something in the user's history that might help us. The only thing is it's a little slow, so getting these things takes time on the system. So it has finally opened the browser. Let's try looking at the history. So if you look at the browser history, so whoever the system belongs to, they did a search for CVE 2019 1388. If you look this CVE up, okay, CVE 2019 1388. Now this is a vulnerability. Okay, CVE. Whenever a new vulnerability is found, it is assigned a CVE number. See, it's then made a part of the CVE database. CVE stands for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. So the 2019 stands for the year in which the vulnerability was discovered, and within that year, whatever ID is assigned, that's the second part of it. Okay, so it says that an elevation of privilege vulnerability exists in the Windows certificate dialog when it does not properly enforce user privileges. Okay, so I mean this is quite, you know, this is a very vague explanation. But if you look further down, there is a link which explains how to exploit it. So it links to a video, I think, and it mentions this hhupd.exe file which can be used to exploit this vulnerability. So this is a privilege escalation vulnerability that allows an attacker to elevate privileges to NT authority or system, which is basically admin access, or basically equivalent to admin access, and it is described as this CVE number. There is a video, so if you want to watch this video, you can. Now, if I come back to this system, let me just minimize this. You will see that this executable is already present on the system, HHUPD. So that means someone already tested this. And with regards to CTF, it does not mean that this room has been solved by someone and we are working on that. It means that the system that we are targeting, so whoever this system belongs to, they might have tried this out first. As with regards to the CTF, every instance is created freshly from a previously stored snapshot. So whatever we are working on is completely isolated. No one else has accessed it before, in at least for TryHackMe. Okay, so we see that this executable is already here. You can take a look at that video which will tell you how to exploit it. I'm just going to go forward with the exploitation. Okay, every vulnerability you can, if you research a little bit regarding how to exploit it, you are definitely going to find ways to do it. So for this vulnerability, we need this executable. When I run it, so it says, do you want this app to make changes to your device? And it runs with admin privileges. Now we don't have admin password, but of course we are trying to do exactly that. We are trying to get administrator access. And if you remember what we read earlier, it says it's a Windows certificate dialog box. So what I'm going to do is click on show more details, show information about the publisher's certificate. So this certificate opens up and I can click on this issued by. So it is going to take me to that link, and it's going to try and open that up in the browser. So okay, the extended, no problem. Okay, the page cannot be displayed, but that is not an issue. We already knew that the page would not be displayed since this device does not have any internet access. However, internet access or not, it doesn't matter to us. What I need to do is I need to save this file, save this web page basically. So go to file, save as, or you can simply use the keyboard shortcut. Now I am not really going to save this file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where cmd is located. Okay, cmd.exe, our command prompt. I'm just going to take this, delete it. So I'm going to type the file name as C Windows System 32, and now I cannot write directly CMD here because it's just looking for files here. So I can just say asterisk dot asterisk. So I wanted to show me all files, but here it's just the web option is showed, so I have to type it in this way. So it is going to show us all of the system32 folder. I need to go to CMD where the executable for the command prompt is located. Okay, this is it. Just click it, right click, and open. It's not running as admin. I think I'll have to repeat the process. We'll just use the shortcut this time. Control S. Okay, so this time we get an error message, so we're on the right track now. It says C Windows System 32 config system profile desktop is unavailable, which me which means that what we're doing now is with the system profile, and it's looking for the desktop folder there, which is obviously not present in a system profile. So I'll just repeat the same thing. C Windows System 32. Since I want to see all file types and not just web archives like it says here, so I use the asterisk dot asterisk option. So any file name, any type. And I just need to get to CMD. We are already past CMD. Okay, so this is CMD. Open. Now you can see that we have opened this as administrator. Who am I? So NT authority or system, which is the system account which runs with elevated privileges. So now if I want to do anything, I can do with this. I have administrator privileges. So I can go to CD, C users, administrator. Now I'm in the administrators folder, which is normally not possible with a regular account. But since we have admin privileges now, we are able to access this directory. Now, okay, since I want to see all files here, what command would I use? What is equivalent to ls in Windows?
Not always, sir.
Okay, see, for Windows, the command dir is going to tell you the contents of a particular folder. So this is the equivalent of ls. Okay, in Linux you have ls, in Windows you have dir.
Okay, sir.
So okay, these are just the normal folders that you'll see for all accounts. Okay, contacts, desktop, documents, downloads. Now we are looking for the root flag or the admin flag, whatever you want to call it, since this is Windows. So we are looking for that root flag. So it has to be somewhere within one of these folders. What do you suggest? Where should it or where could it be?
Maybe contacts?
Uh, your voice got cut off. I'm not. Uh, I wasn't able to get what you said.
I said contacts folder, maybe.
Contacts. Actually, we can try. Okay, there's nothing here. In what directory or in what folder? Okay, did we find the user flag? In what directory was that present? This will be in a similar folder.
No idea.
Okay. See, the user flag was also on the desktop. So the admin flag is, it's very much likely that it's going to be in the desktop as well, on the administrator account's desktop, not for the user. So let us check. Okay, and we see that the root flag is here, or it should be here in this root.txt file. Let me try accessing it. Now, since this is not Linux, cat is not going to work. The command in Linux, sorry, in Windows, it's type and root.txt. So if I press enter, now it shows me the contents of this file. So THM coin operated exploitation. This is our root flag now. Okay, so again, since we have obtained the root flag, this machine is also completed. This CTF is also done. So I'm going to close this terminal, this window, this explorer. See, in case of the user as well, we are currently logged in as Wade, right? So for Wade, the flag is on his desktop. So similarly, for administrator, the flag is on the administrator account's desktop. So in Windows, the flags will be on the desktop of whatever respective account we are considering. For administrator, it will be on the administrator desktop. For the user, it will be on the user's desktop. In most cases, of course, this location can differ. And in Linux, you will see that the flag is usually, the user flag is usually somewhere within the user's home directory, and the root flag is within the root directory. Although that is not going to be the case for the next CTF that we'll be working on. Okay, so does anyone have any questions from this?
No, sir, not of today's class.
Okay. I'm just going to disconnect. So we have the root flag, so we've solved it. Terminate. And okay. So that is now we've also looked at Windows-based CTFs, and those are a little rare as compared to Linux one, because most CTFs that you will see will be Linux-based.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay, so in tomorrow's session, we'll work on different CTF. Even that is also going to be on Try Hack Me. But of course, we'll be going back to Linux for that one. Because, okay, so are you practicing on your own as well?
I'm practicing on weekends, sir.
Okay.
But I'm practicing, sir, on weekend.
Okay, that's good. If you face any issues while practicing, feel free to discuss.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So we are actually not